Okay, Jake, attendees are starting to trickle in. I'll let you know when it levels out.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Leo.
Okay, I think we've leveled off.
Perfect. Thanks, Leo. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jake Rice. I'm the statewide salmon and steelhead manager. Today's date is June 12th, just after 10 a.m. We're meeting via Zoom for a public hearing on proposed rules for recreational and commercial salmon fishing seasons. This hearing was noticed in the CR 102 filings for these rules on May 6, 2025, and information was provided on the WDFW website. We have several staff members here to brief you on the topic before you provide your public comments. These are Lyle Jennings, our recreational salmon manager, Marlene Wagner, our Willapa Bay Grays Harbor policy lead, Ryan Lothrop, our Columbia River fisheries manager. After our briefing, we'll take your testimony. We'll ask you each to raise your hand, and we'll call on you. And oops, sorry, my notes bounced on me. We'll ask each to raise your hand on Zoom, and we'll call on each of you at the time. I am so sorry. We'll give you each around 3 minutes to provide public comment, and at this time, we'll dive into our presentation. Here's some background on our salmon rulemaking process. We undertake a process that follows the Administrative Procedure Act. It started back in January when we filed the CR 101s with the Code Revisor's Office, expressing our intent to engage in rulemaking on these fisheries. That was followed later by the CR 102, and that had the draft rules we were considering adopting for seasons this year. That's followed by both a written comment period and public hearing. We've taken comments through our web portal as well as written comments by mail or email since that filing, and we have a public hearing today. We'll take the written comments received along with comments received at the public hearing and consider modifications to the proposed rules based on comment or errors identified in the CR 102. And eventually we'll file the CR 103, which will have the rules that we were adopting along with the concise explanatory statement, which will explain the basis for all of these rules. That will get published into the Washington State Register after 14 days and 31 days after filing the CR 103P. The rules will be effective in the Washington Administrative Code. Next slide, please. For salmon rulemaking, we have a very large public process that occurs between the 101 and the 102 filing, the North of Falcon process. And this process, many of you are familiar with through that we go through each year from developing preseason forecasts, negotiating with our co-managers, other states developing a set of fisheries that'll meet all their conservation objectives for the year. And that process reflected in the draft rules that we published in the CR 102. The 102s that were filed already reflect the large amount of public input received through public meetings, web portal comments, and other input received throughout North of Falcon. Next slide. Getting into the specifics for the rulemaking process this year for recreational fisheries. We filed the CR 101 back on January 21st, and then we filed the CR 102 on May 6th, and that said we would have a public hearing today that written comments were due by tomorrow, June 13th at 12:01 p.m. Our next slide, getting into the specifics for the rulemaking process for Puget Sound commercial fisheries. Again, CR 101 filed back on January 21st, and then we filed our CO 102 on May 6th, and then said we'd have public comments through tomorrow at 12:01 p.m. as well. And lastly, our coastal commercial fisheries. CR 101 filed on the same day, January 21st, and CR 102 on May 6th as well. And those comments will be due tomorrow at 12:01 p.m. Okay, next slide. As we develop salmon fisheries each year, we work in a very broad management landscape. Salmon don't honor political boundaries during their migration, so salmon fishery planning must happen at a number of jurisdictional levels. We work in international forums that include the Pacific Salmon Commission. Pacific Salmon Treaty sets limits on catch, interceptions of salmon from Southeast Alaska to the southern U.S., Washington, Oregon primarily. As quotas are set for those fisheries each year, those catches must be factored in as they affect numbers of fish returning to Washington. For ocean fisheries, we work in the Pacific Fisheries Management Council Forum that includes the states of Washington, Oregon, and California. Fisheries in inside waters are planned through the North of Falcon process with our co-managers under the legal framework of U.S. v. Washington and U.S. v. Oregon and the Columbia River. And we have to weigh a whole lot of factors when we develop these seasons, including Endangered Species Act constraints. We have a number of salmon stocks that are listed under the Endangered Species Act in Washington, and we will have to plan fisheries to meet all their conservation objectives. We have policies from our Fish and Wildlife Commission that we must follow as well. We have obligations from the Pacific Salmon Treaty that sets limits on our fisheries that we have to stay within. Of course, we have to consider tribal co-management as the tribes manage their own fisheries as well. We share data, split harvest with the tribes, and have to reach agreement on fisheries that will meet all of our conservation objectives each year. And we have an extensive monitoring and evaluation system for fisheries statewide. So after planning these seasons, we will go out and monitor what happens, make adjustment to the fisheries in season, and make sure that we're all going to meet all our conservation objectives and use all the data to drive the process for future years. Next slide, please. The North of Falcon process in particular is it's a year-round process with everything from preseason planning to season implementation, then in-season management to collect data, development of preseason forecast again. But it's really 7 weeks of intensive preseason planning every spring. We have to plan fisheries for all 5 species of salmon. We have to work with more than 25 tribal governments. And again, we have a long list of things that we have to consider. Pacific Salmon Treaty, Magnuson-Stevens Act, federal court decisions, ESA requirements, Fish and Wildlife Commission, and state law. It's a long history of federal court decisions, primarily around the co-management and sharing of these tribes as well, that help guide us through this process. Next slide, please. This is just a timeline of the public meetings we held during the spring of this year. Each year it kicks off right around the 1st of March when preseason forecasts are developed, and we can start talking about fisheries for the upcoming year. The process really kind of centers around the PFMC process. So in early March, the Pacific Fisheries Management Council meets and develops a range of alternatives for ocean seasons off the entire West Coast. Those kind of set the sideboards for what we plan for inside fisheries to meet all of our conservation's objectives. We step through a long series of meetings between the 2 council meetings to refine fisheries proposals. And then we get to the April council meeting where the council sets a final set of ocean fishing packages, and we can tweak all the inside fisheries to make sure that we're meeting all of our objectives. That's the basic process for each year, and these are the specific meetings held in 2025. Next slide, please. We also step through a series of co-manager meetings across that same time. These are government-to-government meetings between state and representatives, tribal governments. And again, they're really centered around the 2 PFMC meetings. We have a couple of big US v. Washington engagements in March between these 2 meetings, but everything comes to a head in the April council meeting when we can really nail down all the details on all our state and tribal fisheries. Next slide, please. This is just a screen grab of the online public comment portal. It is still up right now. You navigate this page and ask you what fishery you're commenting on, and you can enter your comments. They go into a big spreadsheet that we can sort out so we can address those comments as we consider changes to the seasons, as we develop our justifications for the seasons. This will be up through tomorrow at 12:01 p.m. when the written comment period is closed. Next slide, please. And so This slide really highlights some of the challenges we faced in 2025. Looking at observed ocean conditions remain favorable for salmon survival and growth for smolts entering the ocean from 2021 to 2023, but climate change and variable ocean conditions have made it increasingly hard to predict returns. Coho forecasts are generally good for this year. The Oregon Production Index is less than 2024's returns, but higher than the 2024 forecast. Some coastal stocks are down from 2024, and in Puget Sound, very similar to 2024, slightly lower for key wild stocks, including Hood Canal natural coho. For Columbia River, in-river harvest rates for Upper Columbia summer Chinook, Snake River sockeye, and Upper Bright fall Chinook were challenges as well. Poor steelhead forecast for the Columbia River continued to be a challenge. ESA listed Puget Sound Chinook stocks at or below critical abundances. And this really highlights the balancing we must do between harvest opportunity within these conservation ESA limits, as well as the challenges of allocation sharing of harvest and impact between fisheries. Next slide, please. Each year, as we step into developing seasons, we take the forecast for the current year and put it into a model with last year's fisheries. So as we started this year, we took the 2024 fisheries and put them in. We put in the 25 forecast into the model with them, and what came out was last year's fisheries for a number of key Puget Sound stocks were too large for us to meet our management objectives. So the Stillaguamish natural Chinook, Hood Canal coho, and interior Fraser coho exploitation rates were all higher than what's allowed under ESA if we just rolled over last year's fisheries. These were initial results from the NALF run, but we knew that other stocks could be of concern when we added in pink fisheries, updated ocean fisheries, and northern fisheries as well. Next slide, please. During the April PFMC meeting, these updated modeling included pink fisheries. The updated northern and ocean fisheries resulted in additional stocks of concern for 2025. These are mentioned above, particularly Nooksack spring Chinook, Skagit summer fall Chinook, Skokomish natural Chinook, as well as Hood Canal coho and interior Fraser coho played a significant role in how seasons were developed in 2025. Next slide, please. This is just an overview of our final model run that met all of our Puget Sound Chinook objectives. I won't go line by line, but just for people to be aware of and how those final seasons fit in within all of our objectives. Next slide. We'll start off with coastal marine recreation in the ocean. Quota seasons and regulations for federal waters developed through a PFMC process. Concurrent regulations being adopted for state waters via emergency rule. Key stocks for this year, strong forecast for Columbia River fall Chinook hatchery stocks, lower Columbia natural Tule fall Chinook at that 41% total ER limit were a consideration as we shape seasons. And then looking at the upper Columbia River summer Chinook and Puget Sound stocks were also a key factor in these fisheries for 2025. Coho forecasts for coastal Washington were mixed with similar relative to 2024. Coho forecasts for the Columbia River were increased relative to 2024, resulting in coho objectives that were less constraining for planning ocean fisheries. 2025 quotas of just over 53,000 for Chinook and just over 99,000 for Mark coho. Recreational fishing scheduled to open on June 21 in areas 2, 3, and 4, and June 25 for area 1. All areas are open 7 days per week. Areas 2, 3, and 4 close September 15th, or when quota is met, and Area 1 closes September 30th, or when that quota is met as well. Next slide, please. Looking now at the Puget Sound commercial, in 2025, registration and limited participation requirements, WAC 220-354-050, will be in place for marine areas 7B coho, 7A sockeye in pink, and 7A 10, 11, 12, 12B, 12C chum. In 2025, fall chum fisheries for South Sound will be managed similarly to the 2024 season with a 4% exploitation rate cap in non-tribal commercial fisheries on Nisqually Lake winter chum. Registration and limited participation fisheries using gillnet and purse seine gear will target pink salmon in Area 10 in late August. Hood Canal chum opportunities are similar to 2024 with full fleet opportunity, gillnet and purse seine starting in management week 42. Cohort are required to be released in 12, 12B, 12C fisheries. Planned South Sound chum fisheries are improved over 2024 with full fleet opportunity, gillnet and purse seine starting in management week 42. However, additional opportunity and potential for registration and limited participation in later weeks will be dependent on the Apple Cove test fishery, ISU, and the Nisqually Lake winter chum impacts. Fisheries targeting pink salmon are planned for marine areas 7 and 7A in August and September. Commercial fishing schedules were planned to minimize gear conflicts in marine areas 7C, 10, 11, 12, and 12B. Forecasted run sizes for Chinook and Coho allowed for the traditional Bellingham Bay 7BC schedule and will be under limited participation rules. For management weeks 33 through 35, we're extending daylight hours to 10 a.m. Next slide, please. And with that, I will hand it to our Puget Sound Recreational Fisheries Manager, Lyle Jennings.
Good morning, everyone. All right, we're gonna walk through the Puget Sound Marine Recreational Fish, Marine Area 5. Hold on.
I think you're better now, Lyle. I muted the wrong mic on accident, I think, when you guys were getting feedback.
All right, thanks, Leah.
Hey, Lyle, somebody in your room must have sound on somewhere. I had to mute you. We can't hear you at the moment.
If you can hear me, Leah, until they get it figured out, I could go through, at least start on the slide, and then Lyle can give me a thumbs up and jump back in when he thinks he's got it all ready to go.
Let's try that.
It might just be the weird delay.
So looking at Marine Area 5 and CQ, Chinook will be July 1 through August 15th. Looking at Coho, July 1 through October 9th. Mark selected fisheries for Coho through September 26th, then non-selective for Coho after that. Additional 2 pink opportunity, July 1 through September 26th, and then close the salmon fishing in the winter. Lyle, looks like you're off mute. Do you want to try again?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go moving down Marine Area 6, Chinook, July 1 through August 15th, only in the western portion of the area. Coho, July 1 through October 15th. Mark selected fishery for Coho through September 26th, then non-selective Coho. Additional 2 pink opportunities, July 1 through September 26th. Close the salmon fishing in the winter as well. Marine Area 7, looking Chinook, opener July 17th to the 19th only. Additional days possible based on available quota. Coho, Mark selected fishery, July 17th to the 19th. And then August 1 through September 6th, and non-selective September 6th through the end of the month. Additional 2 pink opportunity there from July 17th to 19th during that Chinook opportunity, and August 1 through September 30th. Lastly, in this slide, Marine Area 8-1, Skagit Bay, Chinook non-retention only. Coho open August 16th through October 12th, and additional 2 pink opportunity August 16th through September 30th. We'll see if Lyle got the sound figured out, and I will get off.
All right, I think we've got it now. Sound good, folks?
Sounds good, Lyle. Thanks.
Excellent. Sorry for the technical difficulties. All right, continuing on where Jake left off, Marine Area 8-2, Chinook will be non-retention during the entire time frame. Coho will be open August 1st through September 24th. There will be no pink retention in Marine Area 8-2 this year. The Tulalip bubble will be, or was opened on May 23rd, and will go through September 1st under the Friday through Monday at noon opener schedule. It will open again September 6th through September 22nd for Saturday and Sundays only. It will be closed June 21st, which is Saturday, for the Tulalip First Fish Ceremony. Marine Area 9, the Chinook opener will be July 17th through 19th. Additional days could be possible based on available quota. Coho will be open, mark selective during the time that Chinook is open, July 17th to 19th, and any additional days, quota provided. And it will open August 1st through September 30th for mark selective rules. The two pink opportunity will be August 1st through September 30. Marine Area 10, the Chinook will open July 17th through the 19th. And open additional days based on available quota. There will be a winter blackmouth season April 1st through the 30th of next year, and that will be operating under the Wednesday through Saturday schedule. Coho opened on June 1st and will continue through November 15th, and will also be open April 1st through the 30th, quota allowing, similar to in step with the Chinook season in the spring of next year. An additional two pink opportunity will be August 1st through September 30, and Chum will be open October 1st through November 15th. Elliott Bay, Chinook will open August 1st through noon on August 4th. Additional openings may be possible based on the ISU in-season update model. Coho will be opened June 1st through June 30th, and again August 15th through November 15th. Additional two pink opportunity will be August 1st through noon on August 4th, and August 15th through September 30th. Next slide. The Marine Area 11, Chinook will be June 1st through the 30th, Wednesday through Saturdays only, unless quota is met before then. For July, it will be open July 17th through the 19th, and will reopen August 1st through September 30th, as long as quota allows. Additional days in June or July are possible based on available quota. Chinook retention may end early if harvest quota or fishery controls are met. April 1st through the 30th of next spring will be open Wednesday through Saturdays only, once again, as quota allows. Coho will be open June 1 through July 31st, concurrent with the Chinook openings. And then it will open August 1st through September 30th. And then it will continue October 1st through November 15th. And once again, will be open during the same time frame that Chinook will be next spring, April 1st through the 30th. The additional two pink opportunity, August 4 will be allowed August 1st through September 30. And Chum will be open for Chum October 1st through November 15th. Marine Area 13 will be open year-round for hatchery, Chinook, and Coho. The additional two pink opportunity will be August 1st through September 30. Next slide. All right, Marine Area 12. We're going to start with north of Ayoc. Chinook will be non-retention during this entire time frame. Coho will be mark selective this year, July 11th through September 30, and will reopen. It will be closed and then reopen again October 16th through the 31st. Additional two pink opportunity will be allowed July 11th through September 30. Will be closed to salmon fishing, all salmon fishing, October 1st through the 15th. And Chum will be open October 16th through November 30 and closed to salmon fishing in the winter. Marine Area 12 south of Ayoc will see Chinook will be open July 1 through September 30. Coho mark selective fisheries once again this year, July 1st through September 30, with that same salmon closure October 1st to the 15th, and will reopen again October 16th through the 31st. Additional 2 pink opportunity will be allowed July 1 through September 30. Closed to salmon fishing, as I described, October 5th or 1st through the 15th. And then chum will be open October 16th through November 30th. Closed to salmon fishing in the winter. And there's an additional closure in the Skokomish Tide Flats. So it'll be closed to fishing in waters north of the city of Tacoma overhead power lines to an east-west line from the south end of Potlatch State Park or Day Use Park. The latitude and longitude is listed for that location, and the Union boat launch with the latitude and longitude listed. The lat's in front of the mouth of the Skokomish. And this will be closed to fishing from a non-floating device. All right, transitioning to the Puget Sound freshwater recreational fisheries, starting in the north on the Nooksack. Game fish will be closed prior to August 1st. From starting at the Lummi Reservation upstream to the I-5 bridge will be open for salmon August 1st through October 27th. Release wild Chinook prior to October 1st. Daily limit 6, up to 2 each may be wild coho, Chinook, or chum, and up to 4 may be pink salmon. From I-5 bridge upstream to the yellow marking at the FFA High School barn in Deming will be open August 1st through October 31st. Release wild Chinook prior to October 1st. Daily limit 6, up to 2H may be wild coho, Chinook, or chum, and up to 4 may be pink salmon. The yellow marking at the FFA school barn in Deming to the Forks, open for salmon October 1st through December 31st. Daily limit 6, up to 2 each may be wild coho, Chinook, or chum, and 4 may be pink salmon. Transitioning to the North Fork of the Nooksack River from the Highway 9 bridge just above the mouth to the Kendall Hatchery. Game fish will be closed prior to October 1st and will be open for salmon October 1st through November 30th. Release wild Chinook prior to October 15th. The daily limit will be 4, no more than 2 wild coho. Release chum and pink. On the South Fork of the Nooksack, from the mouth to Skookum Creek, open for salmon October 1st through December 31st. Release wild Chinook, chum, and pink salmon prior to October 15th. Daily limit 6, no more than 2 may be Chinook or wild coho, or one of each. Release chum for the full season. Next slide. All right, on the Samish, from the mouth to Thomas Road, open for salmon August 1st through September 30th. Daily limit 2, release chum, wild coho, and pink salmon. The section from the mouth to the yellow marker at the wing wall will be bait in the form of eggs only, no weight attached or molded directly to the hook. Other than a swivel, no weight may be added to the line. This section will also be closed except for youth anglers on September 6th, and it will be closed September 14th except to veterans and active duty military. Whatcom Creek from the mouth to DuPont Street will be open for salmon August 2nd through September 14th, Saturdays and Sundays only. Daily limit 2 hatchery Chinook only. Moving to the Skagit River, from the mouth to the Memorial Highway Bridge in Mount Vernon, open for salmon August 16th through October 31st. Daily limit 4, of which 2 may be coho or pink, and release Chinook, chum, and sockeye. From the Memorial Highway Bridge in Mount Vernon to Gilligan Creek, open for salmon July 1 through July 15th, daily limit 4 sockeye only. And will also be open for salmon August 16th through October 31st, daily limit 4, of which 2 each may be coho or pink, release Chinook, chum, and sockeye. From Gilligan Creek to the Dalles Bridge in Concrete, Open for salmon July 1st through July 15th, daily limit for sockeye only. Open for salmon September 1 through October 31st, daily limit for, of which 2 each may be coho or pink. Release Chinook, chum, and sockeye. Next slide. So continuing on the Skagit River, from the Dalles Bridge in concrete to the Highway 530 bridge, open September 16th through October 31st, daily limit for, of which 2 may be coho or pink. Release Chinook, chum, and sockeye. From the 530 bridge in Rockport to the Marble Mount Bridge, open July 1st through July 15th, daily limit for hatchery Chinook only, and opening again September 16th through October 31st, daily limit for, of which 2 may be wild coho or pink. Release Chinook, chum, and sockeye. Transitioning to the Cascade River, from the mouth to the Rockport Cascade Road Bridge will be open Wednesdays through Saturdays only to prevent conflict with during treaty fisheries. Open for salmon May 28th through July 15th, daily limit for hatchery Chinook only. Open for salmon September 17th through September 30, daily limit for coho only. And Baker Lake sockeye this year will be open July 12th through August 31st. Daily limit 6 sockeye only. Minimum size will be 12 inches. Next slide, please. All right, moving down to the Stillaguamish River, from the Marine Drive to Forks. Open for salmon September 22nd to November 30th. Daily limit 2. Release Chinook, chum, and pink salmon. Stillaguamish River on the North Fork, upstream of the 530 bridge. Game fish open November 1st to protect spawning Chinook. The Snohomish River, from the mouth to the confluence of the Skykomish and Snoqualmie rivers, open for salmon August 23rd through November 30th. Daily limit 4, of which 2 may be coho. Release Chinook and chum. Snoqualmie River, from the mouth to the falls, contingent on in-season updates for salmon, November 1st through November 30th. Daily limit 2 coho only. The Skykomish River, from the mouth to confluence with the Wallace River, will be open June 10th and will be open through July 10th. Daily limit 4 hatchery Chinook, 2 adults only. Release wild Chinook and all other salmon. Open and transitioning to October 13th through November 30th. Daily limit 4, of which 2 may be coho. Release Chinook and chum. From the confluence of with the Wallace River to the railroad bridge at Big Eddy will be open October 13th through November 30th. Daily limit 4, of which 2 may be coho. Release Chinook and chum. And on the Wallace River, it will open October 13th through November 30th. Daily limit 4, no more than 2 wild coho. Release Chinook and chum. Next slide, please. All right, coming down to Lake Washington, it will be open September 16th through October 31st. Daily limit 4, coho only. On Lake Sammamish, it will be open October 1st through November 30th. Daily limit 4, coho only. On the Green and Duwamish rivers, our Duwamish River, Harbor Island to Tukwila Boulevard will be open August 20th through December 31st. Release Chinook. Daily limit 6, of which no more than 3 may be a combination of adult coho and adult chum. Tukwila Boulevard from South 212th Street Bridge, August 20th to December 31st. Daily limit 6, of which no more than 3 may be a combination of adult coho and adult chum. Keep first 2 Chinook. From the South 212th Bridge or Street Bridge to Auburn, the Black Diamond Road Bridge, open September 16th through December 31st, release Chinook. Daily limit 6, of which no more than 3 may be a combination of adult coho and adult chum. From the Auburn Black Diamond Road Bridge to the Tacoma Dam the section will be open November 1st through December 31st. Release Chinook, daily limit 6, of which no more than 3 may be a combination of adult coho and adult chum. Next slide, please. All right, transitioning to Minter Creek, from the mouth to Creviston Drive. Well, that will be open September 1st through December 31st. Daily limit 6, up to 4 adults only, 2 of which may be Chinook or coho. Release wild coho. All waters within channels created by exposed tidelands are closed to fishing for salmon. From Creviston Drive to 50 feet downstream of the hatchery rack, that will be open October 15th through December 31st. Daily limit 6, up to 4 adults, including no more than 2 coho may be retained. Release Chinook and wild coho. On the Puyallup River, from the 11th Street Bridge to the Carbon River, will be open August 16th through October 31st. Daily limit 6, of which 4 may be adults, and only 2 may be Chinook or coho. Release wild Chinook and chum. Closed Sunday through Tuesday through September 30th. On the Carbon River, from the mouth to Voigt Creek, open September 1st through October 31st. Daily limit 6, 2 adults. Release chum and wild Chinook. Moving to the Nisqually River, from the mouth to Clear Creek, open July 1st through November 22nd. Daily limit 6, of which only 2 may be adults. Release chum, wild coho, and wild Chinook. Close Sunday through Tuesday from August 3rd through September 30th, and Sunday through Monday, October 1st through November 17th. From Clear Creek to Kalama Creek, open October 26th through November 22nd. Daily limit 6, of which only 2 may be adults. Release chum, wild coho, and wild Chinook. Close Sunday through Monday, October 26th through November 17th. In the section from Kalama Creek to the military tank crossing bridge will be closed to salmon. Next slide, please. All right. Transitioning out to the freshwater recreational fisheries in the Strait of Juan de Fuca. We've got the Dungeness River from the mouth to the mouth of the Gray Wolf River. We open for salmon October 23rd to November 30th. Daily limit 4, hatchery coho only. On the Hoko River, from the mouth to Upper Hoko Bridge, fly fishing only, September 1st through November 15th. On the Lyre River, from the mouth to the falls near River Mile 3, we selective gear rolls September 1st through January 31st. And on the Clallam River, selective gear rolls November 1st through January 31st. All right, coming out to the Quileute watershed, the Bogachiel, from the mouth to Highway 10 Bridge, the Kalawa River from the mouth to the Highway 101 bridge, and the Dickey River from the mouth to the confluence of the East and West Forks will July 1st through October 31st. Daily limit 2 adults. Release wild Chinook and wild coho. On September 1st through September 15th, the daily limit will be 3. No more than 2 adults may be retained. Up to 1 adult may be a wild Chinook. Release wild adult coho and sockeye. From September 16th through December 15th, the daily limit is 3. No more than 2 adults may be retained. Up to 1 adult may be wild. Release sockeye. On the Quileute River, from the Olympic National Park boundary upstream to the confluence of the Solduck and the Bogachiel, as well as the Solduck River from the mouth to the concrete pump station at the Sole Duck Hatchery. The rules will be February 1st through August 31st. Daily limit 2 adults. Release wild Chinook, adult Chinook, wild adult coho, and all sockeye. From September 1st through September 15th, daily limit 4. No more than 3 adults may be retained. Up to 1 may be a wild Chinook. Release wild adult coho and sockeye. September 16th through December 15th, daily limit 4. No more than 3 adults may be retained, and up to 1 may be wild. Release sockeye. To avoid gear conflict with treaty fisheries in the Quileute River, will be closed Mondays and Tuesdays from September 1st through September 9th, and closed Mondays from September 15th through October 13th. Next slide, please. All right, heading south to the Hoh River from the Olympic National Park boundary near the mouth upstream to the Oxbow Campground boat launch will be open September 16th through November 30th. Daily limit 3. No more than 2 adults may be retained. Up to 1 may be a Chinook. December 1st through December 15th. Daily limit 1 coho only. Release all other salmon. From the Oxbow Campground boat launch upstream to Morgan's Crossing boat launch will be open October 16th through November 30th. The daily limit 3. No more than 2 adults may be retained, and up to 1 may be a Chinook. December 1st through December 15th. Daily limit 1 coho only. Release all other salmon. Queets River Basin, from starting with the Clearwater River, it will be open September 1 through September 30th. Daily limit 3. Up to 2 adults. Release Chinook and wild coho. On the Salmon River, it will be open September 1 through September 30th. Daily limit 6. Up to 2 adults. Release wild Chinook, or excuse me, release Chinook and wild coho. On the Quinault River, it will be open July 1 through September 30. Daily limit Jack salmon only. On October 1st through November 30th, daily limit 8. Up to 2 adult. 2 of those may be adults. Release sockeye and chum. Next slide, please. All right, from here, I'm going to pass it over to Marlene Wagner to go through the Grays Harbor and South Coast fisheries.
Thank you, Lyle. Yeah, I'll start with our coastal fisheries management objectives for Grays Harbor. We won't have a directed recreational Chehalis spring Chinook fishery again this year. And for fall Chinook, coho, and chum, we'll manage 2 escapement goals, with the caveat of coho having a maximum Pacific salmon treaty exploitation rate of 50%. Same with Queets coho, we'll manage to our range of escapement goal there. Next slide, please. For Willapa Bay, for fall Chinook, we'll actively manage not to exceed 20% total impacts for natural origin Chinook on both Willapa and Nassau rivers. For fall chum, we'll manage to meet the aggregate spawning escapement goal of 35,400 naturally spawning fish. And for coho, manage to our spawning escapement goal of 13,600 natural origin fish. Next slide. So our proposed fisheries for Grays Harbor Marine Area 2-2. For the North Bay, August 1st to September 15th, 1 adult daily limit, release wild Chinook and wild coho. For East Bay, September 16th to October 31st, 2 adult daily limit, release Chinook. And November 1st to December 31st, 1 adult daily limit, release Chinook. For Willapa Bay Marine Area 2-1, from June 21 to July 31, we're open concurrent with Ocean Area 2 for salmon, and Area 2 rules apply here. From August 1st to January 31st, there's a daily limit of 2 adults, release wild Chinook. And August 1st to September 30th, the Willapa Bay Control Zone will be open, and there is the North River area closure in effect. Next slide, please. Okay, moving on, Grays Harbor, Tulips River, open September 1st to October 24th. Daily limit 6, only 1 may be an adult. release wild Chinook and wild coho. Open October 25th to December 31st, pardon me. Daily limit of 6, only one may be an adult, and release Chinook and wild coho. For Chehalis River from Fuller Bridge downstream, open August 1st to September 15th for jack retention only, release adult salmon. September 16th to October 31st, daily limit of 6, up to 2 adults, and release adult Chinook. November 1st to December 31st, there's a daily limit of 6, up to 1 adult, and release Chinook. Chehalis River Fuller Bridge upstream and Tribs, they're open October 1st to October 31st, and October 16th to October 31st for Skookumchuck and Newaukum Rivers. Daily limit of 6, up to 2 adults, release adult Chinook. And open on November 1st to December 31st, daily limit of 6, up to 1 adult, release Chinook. Okay. For Willapa Bay, for Willapa, South Fork, Willapa, Nema, and Nassau Rivers, including all forks, daily limit of 6 fish, up to 2 adults allowed, including no more than 1 wild coho, and release wild Chinook. For North, Palix, Bear Rivers, and Smith Creek, daily limit of 6 fish, no more than 2 adults allowed, release wild Chinook. So, Nassau River from confluence of the South Fork upstream to the Highway 4 bridge from August 1st to October 15th, we have a new rule this year. For all species, bait or lure must be suspended below a float. Nassau River from the upstream entrance of the attraction channel to the North Fork upstream, we have a new catch record card code here for this section of the river. So I'd like to specifically point that out. It's going to be 376, and the lower sections below the hatchery will remain as catch record code 375. For the Newaukum, it's closed, and also Fort Creek closed. Newaukum is closed to salmon fishing, and Fort Creek is closed to all fishing. So here's the proposed season structure for Grays Harbor commercial fisheries. Proposed fishing will open weeks 43 to 45, and the schedule is 2 days, 3 days, and 2 days. Next slide. And here are the proposed Willapa Bay commercial seasons. We had similar hatchery Chinook, coho, and chum forecasts as last year in 2024, but our natural origin Chinook forecast was quite a bit lower than last season, so this is the fishery crafted with that in mind. The start of our season, as proposed, begins in the South Bay on 8/13 and ends on November 28th. Next slide, please. So for more details, this is the remainder of the schedule. For more details about the commercial fishery, please check our website or contact regional staff. And with that, I'll pass to Ryan Lothrop for Columbia River Fisheries. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Lothrop, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, Columbia River Fishery Manager. I'll start off here with a little bit of background on some limitations and challenges that led to the fishery development within the Columbia River. So I've got some forecast, harvest control rules, and the associated policy guidance and allocations pertinent to USU Oregon, the Oregon equivalents of where we're concurrent with the Washington policy at C 3630, and then also the WFW Colville agreement that pertains to summer Chinook harvest allocations. So starting off with Upper Columbia summer Chinook, the forecast is 38,000 fish, which is well below the 10-year average of 66,100. And we had to keep in mind the treaty and non-treaty sharing, the allocation by area of fisheries, and the WFW Colville sharing for what was available or in-river fisheries. Also pertinent to that, just to note that part of the ocean non-treaty fishery is part of the 50-50 sharing within USC Oregon. For sockeye, the forecast is 350,200 fish, which is comparable to the 10-year average, but well below last year's record return. The allowable harvest rate is 1% on the endangered Snake River sockeye, and that does have built-in recreational commercial allocations. And then for upriver summer steelhead, the forecasts for both wild A and wild B are well below the 10-year average, which is already well below the historical average. The non-treaty share for recreational and commercial combined for each ESA listed component is 2% through the fall and then 2% for the rest of the year. And I mentioned the run size is well below long-term average. And so we can move on with the next slide. So moving on into fall Chinook, the upriver bright fall Chinook's forecast is 328,100, and the Snake River Wild forecast is about 9,000 fish, which is both below the 10-year average, but relatively close. The Snake River Wild component is the ESA. Snake River Wild is the ESA component of the upriver bright run. The fishery has managed to stay within the 15% harvest rate limit for upriver bright and Snake River Wild fall Chinook per USV Oregon. And then for policy guidance, from our commissions, no more than 70% is provided to the recreational fishery, as the upriver bright is the most constraining fall Chinook stock. For lower river hatchery fall Chinook forecast, that it is at 121,900, which is well above the 10-year average. And the lower Columbia River natural ESA is the ESA component. The ESA exploitation rate limit is 41% shared between the ocean and river. The Coho ocean abundance is about 480,000, which is a bit above the 10-year average. And the lower Columbia River natural component is the ESA component. The ocean and in-river is limited to 23% exploitation rate. Next slide, please. So moving on to the fisheries, starting with fisheries downstream of Priest Rapids Dam. Summer Chinook retention is closed due to insufficient allocation. However, this can be modified in season if there is additional shares based on run size updates and remaining allocations. Sockeye retention is open with specific regulations by area, starting with downstream of the Highway 395 near Pasco Bridge, all the way down to the Columbia River mouth. It is open June 22nd to July 6th with a 1 sockeye limit. And then the steelhead fishery, just want to make note, is open as in permanent rules June 16th through July 31 with a 1 steelhead limit. Moving upstream, Columbia Point to I-182 bridge. It's bank only June 16th through July 15th with a 4 sockeye limit. And then moving upstream to the bridge, I-182 bridge to Priest Rapids Dam is open June 16th through July with a 4 sockeye limit. Moving on to the fall Chinook season, it is a 1 Chinook and as part of a 2 adult salmon limit, except as described below. For the buoy 10 fishery, it's open August 1st through September 6th with mark selective regulations August 7th through the 25th. From west end of Puget Island up to the Lewis River, it's open August 1 through September 6th. We do want to make note of a modified line for the Bachelor Island Warrior Rock line, which is defined now as a line projected from the Warrior Rock Lighthouse to the marker atop the Piling Dolphin, located at the downstream end of the Bachelor Island to the Washington shore. And just make note that there used to be a jog on this line. Now it's a straight shot, relatively close to where it currently or previously exists. For Lewis River up to Highway 395 bridge, it's open August 1 through September 17th. And then from Highway 395 bridge to the Snyder Self Landing, September 15th through December. The exception for the Chinook retention is no more than 1 wild Chinook as part of a 2 salmon limit. So you can keep technically up to 2 Chinook. Moving upstream from the Snyder to Old Hanford Townsite Power Line, it's August 16th through December 31st with the same Chinook regulations as the downstream section. And then the Old Hanford Townsite Power Line crossing to Priest Rapids Dam, open August 16th through October 15th with the standard 1 Chinook, 2 salmon limit. Next slide, please. For coho, open season with a standard 2 hatchery fish limit, August 1st through December 31st, except the following. Closed to salmon and angling September 7th through the 30th from the west end of Puget Island to Lewis River, and closed to salmon and angling September 18th through the 30th from Lewis River to the Highway 395 bridge. This aligns with the Chinook closures described in the previous slide. Also, unmarked and wild coho may be retained upstream of the Hood River Bridge. For steelhead, the fishery structure is similar since we've had since 2017, encompassing a majority with rolling block closures encompassing a majority of the steelhead run timing, includes also night closure. And then also a one hatchery steelhead limit when open, and the openings are from the mouth, Columbia River mouth up to the Dalles Dam is open in July. From the Dalles Dam to Highway 395 bridge is open July through August. From the I-182 bridge to the old Hanford Townsite Power Crossing, October through March with out-of-post and ventral clipped only. And from April 1st to the 15th, open to bank fishing from the hatchery side of the river only within the I-182 bridge to old Hanford Townsite Power Line crossing area. Next slide, please. All right, moving a little bit back downstream, but to the tributaries. So downstream from McNary Dam, within the tributaries only. The fall salmon season structure is August 1 through December 31st, typically with daily limits of up to 6 total fish, including jacks and adults. The adult portion of the daily limits is typically 2 to 3 Chinook and or coho in aggregate. Nearly all tributary Chinook fisheries from the Columbia River mouth up to the Wind River are marked selective, except non-marked or unmarked Chinook can be kept in the Lewis River, Drano Lake, and Klickitat River, as well as the Wind River mouth during October. All coho fisheries from the Columbia River mouth up to the Wind are marked selective. However, and then upstream of there is non-marked selective harvest is allowed in Drano Lake and the Klickitat River. For steelhead, similar season structures and tributaries as past years, with the restrictions in the lowest reaches of the Wind, white salmon, and Klickitat rivers, steelhead angling and harvest closures from July up through October, as well as night closures for salmon and steelhead. Daily steelhead limit in the upper reaches of the white salmon and Klickitat rivers are 2 and 3 hatchery fish, respectively. So moving on to the next slide. Moving up to the Columbia River main stem and also tributary fisheries upstream of Priest Rapids Dam. Fishing rule changes. These shown below are the fishing rule changes between last year to this year. From Priest Rapids Dam to Rock Island Dam, summer Chinook fishing retention is closed this year due to insufficient allocation. Sockeye is open July 1 through the end of August with a 4 daily limit. From Rock Island Dam to Chief Joseph Dam, summer Chinook is closed again, as well due to insufficient allocation. And Sockeye is open July 1, except the July 6 opener from Wells Dam to Brewster, and runs through the end of August with a 4 fish limit. The Wenatchee, Iniat, Okanagan, and Similkameen rivers are closed to salmon fishing due to insufficient allocation of summer Chinook. And with that, I'll be passing this off to Jake to wrap up today's presentation.
Thanks, Ryan. The Regulatory Fairness Act requires agencies to consider whether these rules will have an impact, and particularly on small businesses in Washington. So we have to consider whether we need to prepare a small business economic impact statement as we publish rules statewide. Recreational rules are exempt from RCW, Chapter 19.85, the Regulatory Fairness Act, because the rules do not regulate small businesses. They regulate individuals who undertake recreational fishing activities. Similarly, the Puget Sound and coastal commercial rules are exempt from the AC Act because the regulations do not impose direct costs and regulatory compliance. Rather, they clarify dates for anticipated open periods and areas for fisheries and legal gear requirements and for those fisheries. Next slide, please. As I mentioned in the beginning, when we went through the rulemaking process between the publishing of the draft rule and the final rule, we make changes to the rule either based on errors that we discovered, our own review, or based on public comment we heard. I'm going to take some time to walk through some of those changes that are errors that were discovered. For the Nooksack River, there was an inadvertent adjustment to game fish seasons, and that is specific to WAC sections of WAC 220, 312, 040. I won't go into all the specifics of these, but they're here for review. In addition, in the Columbia River, WAC 223, 12, 060 corrected a daily limit to 4 sockeye only and add correction to release all other salmon. Next slide, please. Looking at Marine Area 6, WAC 223, 12, 060, changed the daily limit to include one, maybe a hatchery Chinook. Marine Area 10 and Marine Area 11, specifically for the year-round pier. There was a correction to remove released chum for the October 1 through April 30th timeline. And then for Marine Area 12, WAC 220, 312, 060 as well, waters north of Ayoc Point, made some adjustments to the season dates as mentioned here. Next slide, please. For Puget Sound commercial fishing, the following edits were made in response to comments received during the CR 102 process. This is regarding WAC 220, 354, 050, registration and limited participation salmon net fisheries. There's updated language in section 3D1, specifically to examples of other management objectives, and revised section 5A8 to clarify the meaning of standard text messages. There was an updated section 5B one for catch reporting area 7B coho fisheries, which adjusted the preseason commercial salmon application deadline to the third Monday of July. This would ensure the deadline does not occur before the rules are finalized for the 2025 season. Updated section 7B to clarify the weekly in-season commercial salmon application deadline and registration window, and updated section 9 to clarify how applicant positions on the randomly ordered registration list are affected by the implementation of limited participation. In-season commercial salmon applications must be submitted online during the weekly registration window between each Tuesday at 12:01 a.m. and the following Monday at 12 p.m. noon. Management weeks start on Sunday and end on Saturday for commercial salmon fisheries. Applications submitted during each weekly registration window are only valid for the following management week. Next slide, please. With that, we will move to public comment. We will begin taking comment with those that identify themselves as wanting to provide testimony when registering. We'll call on you and unmute you when it's your turn. We don't have a whole lot of people here, so you can just use the raise hand function if you wish to provide comment. Unmute when called upon. Please state your name and which fishery rules you are providing comment on as you begin. And we're going to limit people to around 3 minutes. I won't cut you off right at 3 minutes, but I will tell you when that 3 minutes is up and ask you to wrap things up soon. Next slide, please. One more slide, and it's going to go back to orientate where we are in this process. We are at the public hearing on the upper right of the flow chart here. We'll take what we hear today along with all the written comments we'll receive through the tomorrow, June 13th at 12:01 p.m. To continue to consider modifications for our final rule that will be published in the CR 102 within the next few weeks. So with that, Leah, I'll turn it over to you to begin our testimonies and public comment, please.
Okay. Lyle, did you have something to say?
I did. There was an error in the presentation. It is correct in the WAC, and that was the Upper Quinault freshwater river fishery. The daily limit is supposed to be 6.
Thank you
for
very
that.
much. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Lyle and team, for that correction. Leah, I will turn it back to you.
Okay, thanks, Jake. It looks like we have one hand up for now. Our hand is Steve. Steve, go ahead.
Good morning. My name's Steve Thatcher. This is with regards to WAC 354-180, Puget Sound Reef Net open periods, specifically with section 2BI, which removes retention of unmarked coho during our October fishery. I just wanted to urge you to reevaluate that and possibly make a change, as this will remove a large percentage, a sizable percentage of the reef net fleet's ability to harvest coho. Hopefully we will be able to find some impacts to allow that to occur. It's been a traditional coho fishery for our fleet for many years. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And that was our only hand. So just a reminder for those on Zoom, on a desktop, sorry, or an app, there's a raise hand function on the bottom of your screen. And it doesn't look like we have any call-in listeners. And we have a hand up from Bob. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. For the record, excuse me, Bob Kehoe, representing the Purseine Vessel Owners Association. My comments are directed to changes to WAC 220-354 050, which deals with the registration and limited participation fisheries. So I assume this is not going to be a back and forth. I mean, we have Purseine Vessel Owners does have some questions that we submitted as part of our comments. I assume that those will be addressed in the concise explanatory statement. I assume that's correct. So with that, if that's not correct, then please let me know. But otherwise, yeah, on the limited participation, PSVOA is concerned about the implementation of this. I mean, we understand the department's desire to know in advance about the number of vessels that will likely be participating in an opening, but you know, based on our review of the rules and proposed rules, we have serious questions about whether this registration requirement can be used to achieve the stated purpose. And I mean, so long as this registration requirement minimizes the need for the use of the limited participation fishery, I think PSVOA is generally supportive. But if it turns out that this registration requirement doesn't really achieve the intended goal, then you know, it's this regulation is just a burden with no real benefit. And so that is concerning to us. We did make some proposed changes. And so as far as my understanding is many of those have not been adopted. So yeah, just want to stay, you know, just for the record, we are concerned about this. And as far as limited participation fisheries are concerned, this is really not well suited to a commercial enterprise in running a business. You know, certainly when we talk about, you know, basically using the lottery system to determine hunting tags on species such as bighorn sheep and the like, you know, where it's basically a luck of the draw. I mean, since it's for recreational, I guess that it makes sense, but that really does not work in the commercial context. And I'm going to continue to keep saying that until people are tired of hearing me. So again, you know, so long as this registration requirement ends up in allowing more open access to fishing, PSVU is supportive. I do want to point out too, and this is a pet peeve of mine, and I expressed this when I was a member of the Fish and Wildlife Commission when rules were developed, and that is, in my view, an intentional use of vague language. I mean, certainly we understand as the regulated community, WDFW wants to retain all the discretion or the most discretion it has in implementing these rules. There are a couple instances where the department uses the catch-all phrase of any other management objectives. To me, that is runs afoul of what the whole public process should be about, and that is to allow the regulated community to put some sort of boundaries on the department's discretion. I don't like it, and I know why it's used. All it does, in my view, is it raises questions and doubts and suspicion among the regulated community. So I urge the department to keep that in mind, not just for this regulation, but for all regulations. So with that, unless people have any questions for me, Mr. Rice, I will sign off for now. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Kehoe. Leah, anybody
Okay.
else in queue?
No, that was our last hand. Oh, we have a hand up from Aaron. Aaron, go ahead. Aaron, you can unmute.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So there's a couple things that I just wanted to get clarified and just had just general questions about and some concerns. So to start off, the additional bag limits. So I noticed there's additional bag limits in some of the marine areas and freshwater fisheries that were previously closed but now are having additional bag limits. I'm just trying to figure out how that really makes sense.
Hi, Aaron. Just a reminder, this process is to provide comment. It's not necessarily like a Q&A portion of the public hearing process.
I see. And then I also wanted to get clarification on a couple of the fisheries, the local to like Whatcom and Skagit County. So for the North Fork, it says in the WAC 223.12.040, specifically 183 BBB. Is that changing the dates from October to August? And then it says November to January. I was wondering if you could clarify that.
Again, this is an opportunity to provide comments. I don't have the ability at this point to speak to those specific fisheries for clarification, but if you'd like to provide those comments, staff will be addressing those. And if you further clarification required, we're happy to try to get in touch with you to answer those questions outside of the public comment period.
Yeah, that would be very helpful. Yeah, then I guess that's going to be everything that I have to say.
Thank you, Aaron. And that was our last hand. Are there any other hands for comment? Looks like that's everybody, Jake.
Okay, just a reminder, written comments will close tomorrow, June 13th at 12:01 p.m. With that, I close today's public comments in this hearing. Thank you everyone for attending and providing comments. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.